This is Wizard's dressage test from the advanced division at Rocking Horse. I had taken both he and Tully, which were the two horses I took to Rocking Horse. Wizard in the advanced, Tully in the intermediate. It was Tully's first event of the year, but I had done Bruce's field a couple times in dressage. I had done Bruce's field a couple times in the show jumping, which you've seen videos of that. I also took him cross-country schooling at Stableview. He is a very good cross-country horse. So I was there's Wizard Spook. He always has to spook at least once. And he's very reliable cross-country, Tully is. In any case, I wanted to do an event I'd never done before. I wanted to do maybe what I'd hope to be a slightly softer advanced with Wizard. The Pine Top at the end of February tends to be a very difficult course. And I had a conversation with Philip Dutton last year when we were in Ocala, and he thought it was a little bit too hard for the time of year. Now, I suspect and hope that many horses go around well next week, but I did want something a little bit softer. I also feel that it's really important to continue to push myself outside my comfort zone, and this was very different. It's a big deal. It took 7 hours to get there. There was not a ton of atmosphere on this day, so this event took place over 4 days. I competed on Thursday and Friday, and as you can see, Wizard is very relaxed here. There's not much going on. There's more atmosphere at Bruce's Field than there is here, and that's part of why we go to Bruce's Field. On Tuesday, I had practiced my test in the ring, and although it wasn't perfect, I did get a pretty good idea of what I could ask for, when I could ask for it, and how much before I pushed Wizard over the edge. This is clearly not enough extended walk, but he is walking. So I was pretty happy with this result. He ended up with a 37. He was the first one in the ring. And I would say that I thought the judges were a little generous. So apparently if you want better dressage scores, you just have to drive 7 hours south. Although I heard from Lauren Kiefer that she did not share my view and thought that some of the judging was too harsh. So it's hard to say. In any case, the show jumping was not far away. I think I was lucky that had not yet started when both Tully and Wizard were doing their dressage tests, because they would be very reactive to that. And they both show jumped well, so I was happy with that phase. So both of these phases went well. I had a very, very difficult time finding the courses. There were 3 different start boxes. There were 5 different levels, and you had to keep going around and underneath trees. And I did both courses 3 times, and by the time I got on the courses with both horses, I did not make the best turns. I was too wide in some of them. Both horses went spectacularly well. It was very interesting with me with Wizard. I had always been concerned that he did not have enough length of stride, that he had enough scope to his jump and maybe not enough scope to his stride. And I had ridden him in a fairly soft Pelham for years, and he'd gone rather well. And I had not a great performance last year at Great Meadows, and I decided I needed to make a change. So I put him in a single jointed lifter. It's pretty mild bit, and all of a sudden his stride has opened up. On the course, there were several places where it could have been 5 or 6, depending on how the horse went, or and he just ate up the distances. I'm pretty excited. I've decided that I'm going to do an intermediate here in March, and then I'm going to do the 4-star short at Stableview. They have Carolina that same weekend as the Pine Top Intermediate, but I don't think it would be a bad thing for him to do a slightly softer event before he goes back to the 4-star. That, and we're busy, and I primarily make a living teaching. And so I don't really think long-term it's going to matter if Wizard goes to Carolina or not, but I will be staying for Stableview. That was really part of the test there. When you see that kind of wonky flying change, I do need to work on those. I have to be a little bit careful how often I do it, because it can disrupt all of his work. Both Tully and Wizard are having a light week of long and low and hacking, trying to get some of the weight back on them. But as of next week, I'm going to start working on the changes so that I can back off right before the events.